It is time. This is actually the first time I've ever done this because I actually kind of have a fan base now. I didn't do it last year or the year before because I've been doing this for 2.5 years, almost 3 years. Yeah. Anyways, let's talk about some cool shit. Alright guys, I'm going to give you my top 10 favorite movies. The best movies I think, in my opinion. It's okay if you disagree with me, you can, and you can let me know what your favorite movies, your top 10 favorite movies if you want to. But these are going to be my top 10 favorite movies, so let's get started. This guy is becoming one of my favorite actors, and just him doing this kind of movie pretty much all himself. He wrote, he directed, and he starred in, and I think that's totally awesome. Don John, that's right. Number 10. I didn't review this during the year because I didn't see it in the theaters, but I saw it recently, and it was funny because I almost hated it a little bit. I had like a love-hate thing because the accents were getting on my nerves, and just the everything that was going on with Scarlett Johansson was kind of like, but then just the way it was shot and the routine and everything that just flowed really nicely, and the look at relationships from a girl's point of view who look at relationships and what they want, a love story that they see on the big screen, and then you got guys who want a porn star. And the way they wrapped it up was just right. He wrapped it up just right, which is, I was like, oh, okay, this movie was great just because of the way you wrapped it up. This is the end. I don't even know the words of that song. But anyways, yes, this is the end. Of course, stars Seth Rogen, Jonah Hill, Danny McBride, James Franco. I mean, what was brilliant about this movie was just the fact that they were playing themselves and they were making fun of themselves, and they just had a great time, and it was fucking hilarious. What's great about this movie too is the special effects were actually decent. The story was decent. I mean, you're not supposed to take it seriously, but they throw some just shit out there that's just wow, and it's just total hilarity. If you haven't seen it yet, I mean, guaranteed to laugh. I mean, it's funny. Motherfuckers, it's thirsty. Coming in number 8 is a movie that really didn't hit theaters, and it was released in Canada actually last year, but I saw it this year, and it released here this year, and it's a very underrated movie, Upside Down. Yeah, what's going on here? Like, not a lot of people really talk about this movie. This movie was fantastic. The visual effects were unbelievable. If you haven't seen Upside Down, it's about two worlds that are together, and you got the lower world and the higher world, and you got the rich people up here and the poor people down here, and basically whatever world you were in, you're part of that gravity. So they have like connecting buildings, but you're talking to somebody upside down, like their head is right here and they're standing, but and just the way it was shot, beautiful. And it was a love story too, but it wasn't like your generic cheesy love story. I mean, it wasn't. So I highly suggest seeing that if you haven't seen it already. But yeah, Upside Down. Coming in at number 7 is a movie I just reviewed recently, and it's getting a lot of buzz. American Hustle. Yes. Do the hustle. Alright, I did that at the end of the review. Yes, this movie was just fantastic. I mean, the star power. It was just full of star power. You got the 5 main stars, and they all just knocked it out of the park. They all were at the top of their game, especially Christian Bale. I mean, I loved Bradley Cooper in this movie. I mean, it was just all around great. It was scene after scene of great dialogue. The script was great. Yes, it was a little convoluted, but when I was thinking about it, I was like, hey, that's good, because it still wrapped up at the end, and I was like, sweet. I loved this movie. Coming in at number 6 is, I don't think this saw a big release either. This is more indie, but I actually really, really like this movie, Disconnect. Yes, this stars Jason Bateman, who was really like the only known one. It has, what's her name too? Oh, Paula Cole. Paula Cole? Paula. And this is the story about three different stories, basically 3 different families, and it shows you the danger of the internet. It really shows you the danger with kids, with meeting people, talking to people anonymously. I mean, this is freaky shit, man. I mean, it really is. I mean, people put fake personas on the net, and it's amazing how you can't get away from it now, When I was in school, there wasn't really the internet that much, but I mean, I'm talking about way before. Maybe when, I could imagine high school now, it's just like you can't get away from being, bullied and everything. And it really emphasizes that, and it shows you how dangerous being on the internet all the time can be. All right, coming in at number 5, and this probably might be in like a lot of people's like top 3 or top 2 or whatnot, but I'm gonna say Gravity is my number 5. Obviously, this is getting a lot of buzz. I mean, this was a fantastic movie. I wouldn't even be surprised if it won Best Picture. I mean, it's just the way it was shot. I mean, everything was so great. Everything was just thought out. I mean, it was all on a soundstage, but the way it was shot, the way the director, what's his name? I can't remember his name right now, but you really felt the claustrophobicness of being in a spacesuit and just going through this horrible thing. And it was just it wasn't even like sci-fi with aliens and stuff like that. It was just something that happened while being up there and doing spacewalking. And the 3D was amazing and everything was polished beautifully and it was acted well. And yeah, I mean, it's just one of those movies that it struck a chord. It struck a chord with a lot of people this year. Number 4 is also another little indie flick that probably not a lot of people saw, like the general public. The Place Beyond the Pines. Yes, this is the one with Ryan Gosling, Bradley Cooper, Eva Mendes. Yeah, this one came out of nowhere. I can't even explain it, just because you watch the trailer, you really don't see a lot what's going on. You're like, okay, Ryan Gosling has tattoos, and he rides a bike, and he's got bleached hair, and he's got a thing going on with Eva Mendes, and then Bradley Cooper's like a cop or something like that. But when you actually watch the story and you see it all unfold, it's totally not like that, and you're just like, whoa. It kind of came out of left field, and I was engrossed with it. I was just like watching the whole time, just like, oh, cool. Coming in at number 3, I just reviewed it and I loved it. And if you guys saw it, you know I loved it. The Wolf of Wall Street. Yes, wow. This movie was just, like I said in my review, just each scene entertaining. Everything was entertaining. And you know what I found? You know that a lot of that was all based on fact. I watched a little thing about the actual guy, and they talk about, I mean, he really did all those strikes. He bought that yacht with a helicopter on it. I mean, oh man, I mean, it was based a lot. I'm sure some of the dialogue was, just heightened up, but there was great dialogue, well acted. I mean, this is going to be an interesting award season because there's just so many good movies that just came out right now with just these crazy performances. I had an itch on my back. Turning into a wolf. I get it. Coming in at number 2 is a movie I didn't see in the theaters either, but I saw it probably a couple weeks ago, and I was just like, whoa. Prisoners, starring Mr. Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal. That's right, Wolverine and the Prince of Persia. This movie just grabs you by the balls. And if you don't have balls, it grabs you by girls. I don't know. I'm not even gonna say what it grabs you by. But yeah, this movie is so intense, so very intense. And the performances by the two lead actors were just, I mean, it's probably one of the best performances you'll ever see Hugh Jackman in, that's for sure. Jake Gyllenhaal did a great job too, and it's just scene by scene. It was shot well, it was shot dark, gritty, and it was just, to the very end, you're just sitting there, like biting your nails, just. And finally, we come to my number 1 favorite movie of 2013, and it's my favorite director, it's one of my favorite actors, and it completes the Cornetto trilogy, The World's End. And the reason why this is my number 1 is it's just a movie I can watch over and over and over again, seriously. And I've probably watched it 5 times now. I mean, I love these movies. I love all of them. Shaun of the Dead is probably still my favorite out of all of them. Just that's where it all began. Hot Fuzz is fantastic too, and then The World's End. I mean, Edgar Wright, his style of directing is just so awesome. He keeps that energy going, and he just knows how to use practical effects as well as visual effects, CG effects, and the way he incorporates action with comedy is just so fantastic. It's so apparent in this movie, and it's such a ridiculous concept. Just think about all 3 movies. They're ridiculous concepts, but he makes it all work. And if you look at each one of those 3 movies on Rotten Tomatoes, they're all hovering around 90%. They average 90%. That shows you that he knows how to make a fucking movie. And The World's End shows you right there. They take alien robots. They're fighting alien robots as they're walking around these bars to have a pint at each bar, and then they run into robot aliens. That sounds absolutely ridiculous, but it's fantastic, and it was my favorite movie of 2013. Well, alright guys, that's my list. That's my list of the best. I will have the worst movies out, hopefully a couple days. But let me know some of your favorites of this year. You know, you don't have to put the whole top 10, but let me know what your favorite movie of this year was. I'd be interested to know. Just put it right down there in the balls area. And also, please hit that like, thumbs up button if you'd be so kind. Subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and also visit filmjunkie.com for your latest movie news, film reviews, trailers, all that fun stuff. Okay, well, alright guys, this has been my top 10 favorite movies or best movies of 2013. Really looking forward to 2014. I'm seriously going to see a movie hopefully every week and review them, of course. And thank you guys for watching. Appreciate it. Bye!